The science of calm, a gentle psychology of regulation, rhythm and return. Welcome to Unhurried Minds, a quiet space for gentle stories, slow knowledge and unhurried reflection. Here, there is nothing you need to do, nothing to solve, nothing to carry forward. In the previous story, we explored worry, how the mind learned to anticipate danger, and how that protective vigilance can remain active long after it is needed. Worry, we saw, is not a personal failure. It is an inheritance. Tonight, we move gently in the opposite direction. Not to eliminate thought and not to force stillness, but to explore what happens when the nervous system is allowed to rest. Tonight's story is about calm. Not calm as a mood and not calm as an achievement, but calm as a biological process, a return to rhythm. As you listen, you do not need to concentrate. You do not need to remember what is said. If your attention drifts, that is expected. If sleep arrives, it is welcome. This is not a lesson to complete, it is an environment to enter. You may notice the pace is slow. You may hear ideas repeated. You may feel time stretching. This is intentional. Slowness reduces vigilance. Repetition signals safety. Take a gentle breath in and allow the breath out to last a little longer. Let the body settle in its own way. When you are ready, we begin with a simple idea that calm is not something the body must learn, but something it remembers. Chapter 1. Calm as a biological baseline. Calm is often spoken about as though it were something fragile, something easily disturbed, something that appears only when conditions are perfect and disappears the moment life intrudes. But from a biological perspective, this understanding is reversed. Calm is not the exception, it is the baseline. For most of human history, the nervous system evolved to spend far more time in states of relative safety than in states of threat. Early human life was not lived in continuous alarm, it was lived in cycles. Moments of heightened attention were followed by long periods of rest. Periods of danger were followed by safety. Effort was followed by recovery. The body learned to move between states, not to remain locked in one. Calm, in this sense, was not something created. It was something returned to. When there was no immediate problem to solve, no predator to evade, and no urgent action required, the nervous system naturally settled. This settling was not passive, it was restorative. In calm states, the body redirected energy away from scanning and defense and toward repair and integration. Muscles softened, breathing deepened, digestion resumed its full rhythm. The mind followed the body. Attention widened, thought slowed. Awareness became less narrowly focused. This is not a modern invention. It is an ancient pattern your nervous system still carries. This evolutionary memory. When calm feels difficult today, it is not because the body has forgotten how to be calm. It is because the conditions that support calm are less consistently present. Modern environments provide near constant stimulation. Artificial light extends the day. Noise interrupts silence. Information arrives without pause. Expectations persist without clear boundaries. The nervous system interprets this unbroken stream of input as a need for readiness, not panic, not crisis, but preparedness. Preparedness keeps the system slightly elevated, not enough to feel overwhelming, but enough to prevent full settling. Over time, this becomes familiar, and familiarity is often mistaken for normality. Many people assume they are incapable of calm because they cannot access it easily, but calm has not disappeared. It has simply been crowded out. Calm does not compete well with urgency. It does not push forward. It does not announce itself. It waits. And when space is made, it returns. This is why calm often arrives in moments that feel incidental, standing under warm water, walking without destination, lying awake late at night when demands finally loosen. In these moments, nothing is being asked of you. The nervous system recognizes this absence before conscious thought does. It responds automatically. Heart rate slows slightly. Breath becomes fuller. Muscle tension decreases. These changes are not chosen. They are reflexive. Calm is not a decision. It is a physiological response to perceived safety. This distinction matters. If calm were a mental achievement, it could be reached through effort. But because calm is biological, effort often interferes. Trying to force calm introduces urgency, and urgency is incompatible with rest. The nervous system does not relax because it is told to. It relaxes because it senses that it can. Calm also does not require the absence of thought. This is another common misunderstanding. Thought continues in calm states, but its character changes. Instead of racing forward, it drifts. Instead of demanding action, it allows reflection. Instead of narrowing attention, it broadens awareness. This is why calm feels spacious. There is room for experience, without pressure to respond. You may notice sensations more clearly. Sounds may feel softer. Time may seem less compressed. None of this requires concentration. It occurs naturally when vigilance decreases. Calm is also deeply embodied. It lives in sensation more than in language. Warmth communicates safety. Softness communicates permission. Predictability communicates trust. This is why calm environments often feel comforting. Even before you consciously notice them, the body reads the room before the mind names it. And when the body senses coherence, when light, sound, temperature, and pace align in a non-threatening way, it settles. Calm cannot be rushed, because trust cannot be rushed. The nervous system settles at the speed of safety. This is why attempts to get calm quickly often fail. Speed signals urgency. Urgency signals threat. Calm unfolds only when time opens. This does not mean you must remove all stimulation or create perfect conditions. It means that even small reductions in demand can allow the system to begin returning. A slightly slower pace, a quieter tone, a longer pause between thoughts. These are not techniques. They are permissions. As you listen now, you are not practicing calm. You are not training the mind. You are simply allowing conditions in which calm can reappear. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be improved. The nervous system already knows. Where calm lives, it has been there before. It has returned there many times. And given enough space, it will do so again. Chapter 2. The autonomic nervous system and the architecture of regulation. Calm does not begin in thought. It begins in regulation. Long before the mind forms an opinion about whether something is safe or unsafe, the body has already responded. Heart rate shifts, breathing changes, muscle tone adjusts, attention narrows or widens. These changes occur automatically without instruction, guided by a system that operates quietly in the background of experience. This system is the autonomic nervous system. The term autonomic means self-governing. The autonomic nervous system does not require conscious direction. It continuously monitors the internal and external environment and adjusts bodily processes to maintain survival and stability. It governs breathing, circulation, digestion, energy use, and arousal, functions essential to life, yet largely outside awareness. From a psychological perspective, calm is not a mental state imposed from above. It is the outward expression of autonomic balance. The autonomic nervous system operates primarily through two complementary modes. These are not opposites in conflict, but partners in regulation. The first mode is mobilization. Mobilization prepares the body for action. It increases alertness, accelerates heart rate, sharpens focus, and directs energy toward movement and protection. This state is often associated with stress or anxiety, but it is neither pathological nor undesirable. Mobilization allows us to respond to challenges, solve problems, and meet demands. The difficulty arises not from mobilization itself, but from its persistence. The second mode is restoration. Restoration slows the body. Heart rate eases, breathing deepens, digestion resumes full activity, muscles soften, energy is redirected toward repair, immune function, emotional processing, and memory consolidation. This is the physiological foundation of calm. In healthy regulation, the nervous system moves fluidly between these two modes. Mobilization when action is needed, restoration when safety returns. Modern life, however, often disrupts this rhythm. Many contemporary environments maintain low-level mobilization for extended periods. There may be no immediate crisis, yet the nervous system remains subtly activated. Notifications, artificial lighting, compressed schedules, and constant cognitive demands signal that attention must remain available. The body stays prepared even when no action is required. Over time, this sustained preparedness becomes familiar. It may feel normal, even productive, but it prevents full restoration. From the inside, this imbalance often presents as restlessness, racing thoughts, difficulty relaxing, or trouble sleeping. It is tempting to interpret these experiences as failures of will or discipline. In reality, they are physiological consequences of incomplete regulation. The mind accelerates when the body does not settle. Thought becomes repetitive not because it is useful, but because the nervous system remains mobilized. The brain continues to scan for problems because the body has not received sufficient signals that scanning is no longer necessary. This is why calm cannot be achieved through thinking alone. You cannot reason the nervous system into rest. You cannot instruct it to relax. The autonomic system does not respond to explanation or intention. It responds to cues. These cues are sensory, environmental, and temporal. Light intensity, sound patterns, movement and stillness, temperature, predictability of rhythm. The nervous system continuously evaluates these factors, asking a simple question: is action required right now? When the answer is unclear, mobilization persists. When the answer is consistently no, restoration emerges. This is why calm environments feel calming before you consciously notice them. Soft lighting, steady sounds, and predictable pacing reduce ambiguity. The nervous system interprets these conditions as safe, and regulation follows. Breath is one of the most direct channels through which regulation can shift. Although breathing is automatic, it can also be influenced intentionally. Slow, unforced breathing, especially longer exhalations, activates restorative pathways. This does not require effort or precision. The nervous system responds to gentleness more than control. Stillness also plays a role. When the body stops moving, energy demand decreases. This reduction is communicated internally, allowing physiological processes to reallocate resources away from readiness and toward maintenance. Importantly, regulation does not require complete inactivity. Gentle, repetitive movement, such as walking slowly or rocking, can also support restoration. Rhythm matters more than stillness alone. Regulation is not a switch, it is a gradual shift. The autonomic nervous system transitions slowly, especially after prolonged activation. Expecting immediate calm can reintroduce urgency, which counteracts the very process one hopes to support. Regulation unfolds at the pace of safety, not the pace of desire. This is why patience is not merely psychological, it is physiological. As restoration increases, changes become noticeable. Muscles release tension without instruction. Breathing deepens without planning. Attention broadens. Thoughts lose their sharp edges. These changes signal that the nervous system is rebalancing. Calm, then, is not a state to achieve, but a sign that regulation is underway. It reflects a system that no longer needs to prepare for immediate action. In this sense, calm is evidence of trust, not cognitive trust, but bodily trust. The body trusts that it can pause, that nothing urgent has been missed, that restoration is permitted. You do not need to monitor this process. Monitoring itself can maintain activation. The autonomic nervous system regulates best when allowed to work without scrutiny. As you listen, regulation may already be shifting, not dramatically, not all at once, but incrementally. These small changes matter, they accumulate, and over time, they restore the rhythm the nervous system was designed to follow. Chapter 3: Breath, Rhythm, and Neural Timing. Breath is unique among bodily processes. It happens automatically, without instruction, yet it is one of the few physiological rhythms that can be gently influenced by awareness. This makes breathing a bridge between conscious experience and autonomic regulation. You cannot directly slow your heart through thought. You cannot consciously instruct digestion to deepen or muscles to release, but breath participates in both worlds. It moves on its own, yet it responds to pace, tone, and context. From a neurological perspective, breath acts as a timing signal. It helps coordinate the rhythms of multiple systems at once. Heart rate subtly adjusts to breathing patterns. Neural firing synchronizes with respiratory cycles. Muscle tone shifts with inhalation and exhalation. When breath is shallow and rapid, the nervous system interprets urgency. When breath is slow and unforced, the nervous system receives a different message. Not safety as an idea, but safety as a sensation. This is why breath-based calming does not require visualization, belief, or analysis. The body responds directly. Longer exhalations are particularly influential. They activate pathways associated with restoration and reduce the body's readiness for action. This is why sighs feel relieving, why yawning spreads through a group, why slow breathing often emerges naturally as the body begins to settle. These are not habits learned through culture. They are biological reflexes. The nervous system associates slow breathing with conditions in which vigilance is unnecessary. Breath, however, does not operate in isolation. It is part of a larger system of rhythm. The human nervous system evolved in environments governed by repeating patterns, day and night, seasons, footsteps, heartbeats, waves, wind. Long before language, humans regulated emotion and attention through rhythmic experience, rocking infants, walking together, drumming, chanting, telling stories with predictable structure. Rhythm provides temporal predictability. Predictability reduces uncertainty. Uncertainty maintains vigilance. When the nervous system can anticipate what comes next, it relaxes its scanning. This is why repetition is calming. The same sound at the same pace, the same tone, repeated without threat, tells the body that nothing new is required. This principle applies even in subtle ways. A steady voice, consistent pauses, familiar phrasing. These elements create a rhythmic container that supports regulation. Your nervous system does not need to understand the content to respond to the cadence. This is why listening can be calming, even when attention drifts. The rhythm continues and the body follows. Neural timing also plays a role. The brain operates through oscillations, patterns of electrical activity that rise and fall at different frequencies. High-frequency activity is associated with alertness, problem-solving, and external attention. Lower-frequency activity is associated with rest, integration, and internal processing. Calm states correspond with shifts towards slower neural rhythms. These shifts do not require sleep. They often occur in quiet wakefulness, in moments of still attention, or during repetitive, low-demand activity. Breath and rhythm facilitate these shifts. They provide consistent timing cues that allow neural activity to synchronize and slow. This is why calm often feels like a widening of time. Moments stretch, urgency fades. The pressure to act diminishes. Nothing has changed externally, yet experience feels different. The nervous system has moved into a different temporal mode. Importantly, rhythm does not require stillness. Gentle, repetitive movement can be equally regulating. Slow walking, rocking, swaying. These movements provide predictable sensory input that supports timing and coordination. The key is not intensity, but consistency. Abrupt changes demand attention. Smooth repetition allows release. Modern environments often disrupt rhythm. Artificial lighting removes natural transitions. Irregular schedules fragment time. Rapid shifts between tasks prevent synchronization. The nervous system compensates by maintaining readiness. Rest becomes shallow. Calm becomes elusive. Reintroducing rhythm, even in small ways, helps restore balance. A regular bedtime routine, a familiar sound at night, a consistent pace of speech. These are not rituals of superstition. They are regulatory supports. As you listen now, you may notice your breathing has already changed. Not because you intended it to, but because the environment has become more predictable. The voice continues. The pacing remains steady. Nothing unexpected is asked of you. This predictability is doing the work. You do not need to adjust your breath. You do not need to follow a pattern. The nervous system responds best when it is not being managed. If attention wanders, rhythm remains. If thought drifts, timing continues. Calm does not require focus. It requires continuity. As this chapter comes to a close, allow rhythm to keep carrying you. There is no destination, only a gradual settling into a pace the body recognizes as its own. Chapter 4. Calm is not control. One of the most persistent misunderstandings about calm is the belief that it must be actively created. We are often taught, implicitly or explicitly, that calm is something to achieve, a state that arrives through disciplined focus or mastery over thought. From this perspective, restlessness is treated as failure, and calm becomes a performance. But biologically, calm does not arise from control. It arises from the absence of demand. The nervous system does not settle because it has been instructed to do so. It settles because the conditions that require vigilance are no longer present. Control, by its nature, implies urgency. To control something is to suggest that it must be managed quickly to prevent an undesirable outcome. Urgency keeps the autonomic system engaged. This is why attempts to force relaxation often produce the opposite effect. Monitoring the body, checking whether calm has arrived, or correcting one's internal state introduces pressure. Pressure signals threat. Even when the threat is subtle, the nervous system responds. Calm cannot coexist with constant self-surveillance. This does not mean that intention has no role. It means intention must be indirect. Rather than trying to be calm, the more effective approach is to remove what prevents calm. Lowering stimulation, reducing pace, softening expectations. These shifts create conditions in which calm can emerge naturally. Stillness, in this context, is not emptiness, it is spaciousness. Calm does not erase experience. It creates room around it. Thoughts may still appear, emotions may still move, but they do so without demanding immediate response. This is why calm is often misinterpreted as disengagement. In reality, calm allows deeper engagement without urgency. When the nervous system is settled, attention becomes more flexible. It can move inward and outward without strain. This flexibility supports reflection, creativity, and emotional resilience. Control narrows attention. Calm widens it. Another misunderstanding is the belief that calm requires silence. Silence can be helpful, but calm does not depend on it. What matters is not the absence of sound, but the absence of unpredictability. A steady sound can be more calming than silence. If silence amplifies vigilance, this is why gentle music, white noise, or a familiar voice often supports rest. The nervous system is not seeking quiet. It is seeking coherence. Coherence allows release. The same principle applies to thought. Trying to stop thinking often intensifies thinking. Thought, like breath, responds poorly to force. In calm states, thought changes character on its own. It becomes less linear, less insistent. It drifts rather than drives. This shift cannot be commanded. It follows regulation. When the body settles, the mind follows. This is why cognitive strategies are limited in their ability to induce calm. They work best after regulation has begun, not before. Calm is not something you do to yourself. It is something you allow to happen. Allowance requires trust that nothing essential will be lost by pausing. Trust that attention can soften without consequences. Trust that the body knows when it is safe to rest. Many people resist calm because it feels unfamiliar. A system accustomed to readiness may interpret settling as vulnerability. This is not a flaw, it is a protective habit. The nervous system has learned that alertness prevents harm. Letting go of alertness may feel risky at first. This is why calm often arrives gradually. The body tests the environment, it softens a little, then checks again. When nothing demands response, it softens further. This process cannot be rushed. It unfolds through experience, not instruction. As you listen now, you may notice moments where the body settles, followed by subtle reactivation. This is normal. Regulation is not linear. The nervous system oscillates as it recalibrates. Calm is not a permanent state. It is a recurring one. It returns whenever conditions allow. Understanding this relieves pressure. There is no need to stay calm. There is no failure. When calm fades, each return strengthens the system's ability to find its way back. As this chapter ends, you are not being asked to release control. You are being invited to loosen it slightly, to let the body take the lead, to trust that regulation does not require supervision. Calm does not need to be held. It will remain as long as it is not chased. Chapter 5. Cultural practices of stillness and transition. Across human history, calm has rarely been left to chance. Long before modern psychology's cultures developed shared practices that guided the nervous system from activity into rest. These practices were not framed as mental health interventions. They were understood as necessities, ways of marking transitions and restoring balance. Evening rituals, communal meals, storytelling, prayer, song, and ceremony all served a similar function. They slowed time. They signaled that one phase of the day was ending and another was beginning. From a regulatory perspective, these transitions are essential. The nervous system does not shift states instantly. It needs cues. Clear boundaries help the body understand when vigilance is no longer required. Without these cues, activity bleeds into rest. Work blends into night. Attention remains outward. Preparation never fully stops. Many traditional cultures understood this intuitively. Nightfall was not merely the absence of light, it was a signal. Firelight replaced daylight. Voices softened. Movement slowed. These changes were not symbolic alone, they were physiological. Lower light alters hormonal activity. Reduced noise decreases sensory load. Predictable rhythms reduce uncertainty. Together, these shifts invited restoration. Stillness, in this context, did not mean inactivity. It meant containment. The day's demands were held within a shared structure that allowed release. Storytelling is a particularly powerful example. Stories told at night often follow familiar patterns. The listener does not need to work to follow the plot. The rhythm and cadence carry attention gently, allowing thought to soften. This is not accidental. The nervous system responds to predictable narrative arcs by reducing alertness. It learns that nothing unexpected is about to occur. In this way, stories function as regulatory tools. They guide attention without demanding effort. They occupy the mind just enough to prevent rumination while allowing the body to settle. Modern life has not eliminated the need for such practices. It has simply made them less visible. Artificial lighting disrupts natural transitions. Digital communication extends demands into the night. Work and rest share the same physical spaces. Without clear boundaries, the nervous system remains on call. This does not mean that traditional rituals must be recreated. What matters is not the form, but the function. The function is signaling that activity is ending, that vigilance can soften, that restoration is permitted. These signals can be simple. A consistent evening routine, a familiar sound, a change in lighting, a slower pace of movement. Repetition matters more than novelty. The nervous system learns through consistency. When the same cues appear each night, regulation becomes easier. This is why routines often feel calming. Even when they are simple, they reduce decision-making. They eliminate uncertainty. They allow the body to anticipate rest. Cultural practices also emphasize shared stillness. Calm is easier to access in the presence of others who are also settling. This is not merely psychological. Nervous systems influence one another. Tone of voice, pace of movement, breathing patterns, these cues are contagious. A calm presence can regulate another nervous system without words. This is why quiet companionship often feels soothing. No problem needs to be discussed, no solution offered. The shared slowing is enough. In contemporary settings, this principle still applies. Listening to a steady voice, being near someone who is relaxed, participating in a shared routine. These experiences reduce the burden of self-regulation. The body does not have to manage itself alone. Stillness also creates space for meaning. When activity slows, experience can be integrated. Events of the day are not erased, but they are no longer pressing. This integration supports emotional processing. Without stillness, experience accumulates without resolution. Calm allows the nervous system to complete what was started. As this chapter closes, consider how little is required to signal transition. You do not need elaborate rituals. You do not need perfect conditions. Small, consistent cues are enough. A repeated sound, a softened light, a familiar rhythm. These signals remind the body that it knows this territory, that it has been here before, that it is safe to begin letting go. Chapter 6. Calm as cognitive reset. When the nervous system settles, something subtle but important happens in the mind. Thought does not stop, memory does not disappear, awareness does not fade. Instead, the function of thinking changes. Calm allows the mind to shift from problem-solving into integration. This distinction matters. Problem-solving requires focus, urgency, and direction. Integration requires space, time, and softness. Modern life strongly favors the first. It rewards speed, decisiveness, and continuous output, but the brain was not designed to operate in problem-solving mode indefinitely. Without periods of integration, cognitive processes remain incomplete. Ideas circle without resolution. Emotions linger without context. Experiences accumulate without meaning. Calm provides the conditions in which this backlog can be processed. From a neurological perspective, calm states allow the brain to reduce external monitoring and increase internal communication. Regions involved in memory, emotion, and self-referential processing become more active. This is not inefficiency, it is maintenance. During calm, the brain reorganizes information. Connections are strengthened, irrelevant details fade, patterns become clearer. This is why insight often arrives after rest, not during struggle. The mind needs time, without pressure, to reconfigure itself. Calm is not the absence of productivity. It is a different form of productivity, one that is not immediately visible. When calm is absent, thinking becomes repetitive. The same concerns reappear. Because they have not been integrated, the brain continues to present them, hoping for resolution. This repetition is often misinterpreted as anxiety or overthinking. In reality, it reflects incomplete processing. Calm allows the brain to finish its work. This is particularly true for emotional experiences. Emotions are not resolved through analysis alone. They require time. In a state of relative safety, when the nervous system is mobilized, emotional processing is postponed. There is no capacity for reflection when action may be required. Calm creates that capacity. It provides the background stability necessary for emotional meaning-making. This does not mean that difficult emotions must be confronted during calm states. It means that the brain is better equipped to to integrate them naturally. Often this happens without awareness. You may notice a sense of lightness or a subtle shift in perspective without being able to name its cause. This is integration at work. Sleep amplifies this process, but it begins before sleep arrives. Quiet wakefulness is sufficient. Simply lying still, listening without effort, allows cognitive systems to begin resetting. This is why rest that precedes sleep is so important. If the mind moves directly from high demand into sleep, integration is limited. Calm provides a bridge. It eases the transition from outward engagement to inward processing. In calm states, attention loosens its grip. Thoughts become less linear, they drift rather than march. This drifting is not random. It allows associations that are not goal-directed to emerge. Creativity often arises here, not because the mind is trying to create, but because it is no longer constrained by urgency. Calm opens cognitive space. This space allows the mind to explore possibilities without committing to action. It is a rehearsal ground for understanding. Importantly, calm does not require that problems be solved immediately. It allows them to be held lightly, and this light holding reduces emotional charge. When urgency fades, problems often appear smaller, more manageable, or differently framed. Nothing external has changed. The internal context has. This reframing is not cognitive distortion, it is perspective. Perspective requires distance. Distance requires calm. Many people avoid calm because it feels unproductive. There may be a sense that resting allows problems to persist. In reality, constant engagement often prevents resolution. Calm is not avoidance, it is preparation. It prepares the mind to re-engage later with greater clarity and flexibility. As this chapter draws to a close, notice that nothing has been demanded of you. No insight has been required, no understanding has been tested. This is intentional. Cognitive reset occurs when the mind is allowed to wander gently. If your thoughts have drifted, that is part of the process. If sleep has begun to approach it, that is also appropriate. Calm does not announce it. Chapter 7. Stillness, Safety, and the Sleeping Brain. As calm deepens, the boundary between waking and sleeping begins to soften. This transition is not abrupt. It unfolds gradually as the nervous system continues to sense safety. Sleep is often imagined as a sudden loss of consciousness, but biologically it is a sequence of shifts. Before sleep arrives, the brain moves through intermediate states: quiet wakefulness, reduced vigilance, and slower patterns of attention. Calm provides the conditions for this progression. When the nervous system is settled, the brain no longer needs to prioritize external monitoring. Attention turns inward. Sensory input becomes less dominant. Internal rhythms take precedence. This shift allows sleep-related processes to begin before consciousness fades: memory integration, emotional regulation, and physiological repair. Do not wait for sleep itself. They are initiated as vigilance decreases. Stillness plays a crucial role here. When the body becomes still, energy demands drop. The nervous system interprets stillness as a sign that action is not required. This interpretation supports the transition towards sleep. Stillness does not need to be absolute. Small movements may occur naturally. As the body adjusts, what matters is the absence of purposeful action. The nervous system distinguishes between movement for necessity and movement for comfort. As stillness increases, muscle tone continues to decrease. This release is not commanded. It unfolds automatically when safety is sustained. The brain in turn begins to alter its activity patterns. High-frequency alert rhythms give way to slower oscillations. Thought becomes less structured. Images and fragments of memory may appear and fade. This is not dreaming yet, but it is a preparatory state. The mind loosens its grip. on linear narrative, time becomes less defined. This state is sometimes interrupted by sudden thoughts or sensations. A memory surfaces, a concern briefly returns. These interruptions are not failures, they reflect the nervous system, checking the environment. When nothing demands response, settling resumes, this checking behavior diminishes with repeated exposure to safe, still conditions. Over time, the transition into sleep becomes smoother. Safety is central to this process. The sleeping brain is particularly sensitive to perceived threat. If safety is uncertain, sleep remains shallow or fragmented. Calm addresses this by reducing ambiguity, predictable sound, consistent rhythm, familiar pacing. These elements reassure the nervous system that nothing unexpected will occur. This reassurance allows deeper stages of sleep to develop. Importantly, the brain does not need to be convinced that it is safe. It needs to experience safety. Experience precedes belief. This is why environments matter. The same person may sleep deeply in one setting and poorly in another, even with identical intentions. The nervous system responds to sensory cues, not reasoning. As calm deepens, awareness may begin to fragment. You may notice moments where attention drifts away entirely. This drifting is not loss of control, and it is a sign that the brain is disengaging from active monitoring. The threshold of sleep is crossed not through effort, but through release. Trying to sleep often delays sleep. Allowing sleep invites it. This distinction mirrors the nature of calm itself. Both emerge when demand is withdrawn. As you continue listening, you may find it difficult to recall exactly when sleep arrives. This is normal. Sleep does not announce itself. It replaces awareness quietly. And if sleep does not arrive immediately, calm still serves an essential function. It allows the nervous system to recover, even in wakefulness. Rest is not limited to sleep. The body repairs itself whenever vigilance decreases. This means that even listening without sleeping is beneficial. There is no requirement to cross a threshold, no expectation to reach a particular state. The nervous system responds to opportunity, not to goals. As this chapter concludes, nothing is asked of you. If sleep is near, allow it. If wakefulness remains, rest anyway. Both are forms of restoration. Chapter 8. Calm and the return to everyday life. Calm is often imagined as something that belongs only to quiet moments, late at night, early in the morning, away from responsibility. But calm is not limited to these spaces. It is a regulatory capacity that can accompany you back into activity. Calm does not disappear. When movement resumes, it changes form. When the nervous system has had sufficient opportunity to restore, mobilization becomes more efficient. Action feels clearer. Attention sharpens without strain. Effort requires less force. This is the paradox of calm. Rest does not reduce capacity, it renews it. From a biological perspective, calm and action are not opposites. They are phases of the same cycle. Mobilization draws from reserves. Restoration replenishes them. When restoration is skipped, action becomes costly. When restoration is present, action becomes sustainable. Calm, then, is not withdrawal from life. It is preparation for engagement. This reframing matters because many people resist calm out of fear. Fear of falling behind, fear of losing momentum, fear of becoming passive. These fears arise when calm is misunderstood as disengagement. In reality, calm allows engagement without depletion. A regulated nervous system can respond to challenge without becoming overwhelmed. It can return to rest after effort without difficulty. This flexibility is the hallmark of psychological resilience. Resilience is not constant strength. It is adaptive movement between states. Calm supports this movement. It ensures that activation does not become chronic, and as calm becomes more familiar, its presence may be noticed in subtle ways. a shorter recovery time after stress, less reactivity to minor disruptions, an increased ability to pause before responding. These changes are not dramatic, they accumulate quietly. The nervous system learns that rest is accessible, that it does not need to remain vigilant, to remain effective. This learning occurs through experience, not instruction. Each time calm is allowed, the system strengthens its capacity to return. There is no need to recreate ideal conditions. Calm does not require perfect environments. It requires only enough safety. To begin, small pauses matter. Brief moments of stillness matter. Gentle transitions matter. They signal to the body that restoration is possible, even within activity. This is how calm becomes integrated. Rather than isolated, it becomes part of rhythm, not an exception. As this story approaches its close, it is important to emphasize what calm does not require. It does not require constant maintenance. It does not require vigilance. It does not require monitoring. Calm is not something to hold on to. It returns whenever conditions allow. Trusting this reduces pressure. You do not need to protect calm from life. You allow calm, and life adapts around it. Closing, a return, not an ending. As we come to the end of this unhurried exploration, notice how little has been required of you. No task was assigned, no insight demanded, no conclusion enforced. This is intentional. Calm does not arrive through achievement. It arrives through allowance. Throughout this story, the nervous system has been given consistent signals, steady pacing, predictable rhythm, reduced demand. These signals do their work quietly. You do not need to notice them. You do not need to evaluate their effect. The body responds on its own timeline. If sleep has arrived, that is welcome. If wakefulness remains, rest is still occurring. Both are valid outcomes. Calm is not a destination, reached once and kept. It is a return made many times, again and again. Each return strengthens familiarity. Each familiarity reduces resistance. You are not learning calm. You are remembering it as you move on from this moment into sleep or into quiet wakefulness. There is nothing to carry with you. The nervous system will continue what it has begun. Let the breath move without guidance. Let the body remain supported by whatever holds it. Let awareness soften its edges. There is nowhere else to go. Thank you for spending this time with Unhurried Minds. Good night.